Hello, this is Distracted Lord, and welcome back to BeamNG.drive. And I have here the new supercar. This is the Civetta Scintilla, or Civetta Scintilla, or however you want to pronounce it. I'm not Italian, I don't know. But just gonna start off looking around outside it. I'm in walking mode, which means that everything is terrible and it's so bad. But so this is the front. It looks, somehow they've managed to make a car that looks like a bit of every supercar. Like, I look at this and some bits of it make me think like Lamborghini, some bits look Porsche, some bits look Ferrari, some bits look McLaren, and yet it looks better than most of what those car companies come up with. Now at the back we've got these nice massive air vents, and we have the big engine in there. It's got a 5-litre V10. Then it's got this big sort of grille at the back. It's more of a mesh grille sort of thing. Nice styling with the sort of wings, and then the big active aero spoiler at the back, which does move. They made it so you could open the door, and I can't do it. Maybe I just need the UI on. Oh yes, apparently it's part of the UI. So yes, we can now open the doors, and they have these unnecessarily fancy doors. This is the interior. We have some very fancy patterned, basically bucket seats. There's this fancy dash with all the things. If I put it into like sport mode, then all that changes with these very smooth transitions. We get different things on the dash, and in course mode we get that, and drift we get all these other things as well. There's a nav unit in the middle, and there's these things down here, which you can see the little green things. That's because they actually work. We can actually like change the the launch control from there. Not quite sure what the axle lift is. We're not gonna do anything with that. There is actually a hazards button that does actually work, and we have a handbrake. Now this car does have these lights at the front. They're not great, I'm gonna be honest. They are pretty small, and the indicators are so pointlessly tiny. Like, even at the back, the indicators are just so bad. I mean, they're not as bad at the back, but they're not great. I mean, they'll have kind of cool lights at the back. Right, let's actually, drive the thing. So if I turn the UI back on, we can just reset that. We can see that the gears thing in the bottom right just has no idea what's going on. It doesn't know what's going on because it's not manual, because this thing doesn't come in manual. It comes in DCT and sequential, and only the race ones actually come in sequential. So all of the road car configs of this only come with dual clutch, which isn't that bad, because I mean we do have the sport mode, and we can go and put it into paddle shifter manual mode, but I would kind of prefer to have the normal gear stick thing. But there is literally not a manual transmission available for the car, even in the part selector, which is kind of a shame because they could have easily just stuck one in the part selector. My game is lagging so bad. Why is it lagging so bad? Anyway, we can just hope that the recording is not quite as laggy as my game feels. This is the very base spec of the car. It is the GT. It has 600 horsepower and a top speed of over 200 miles an hour, and goes very fast. You can see the active aero spoiler doing some things there. Like if I try and turn a corner, you see the thing pops up over a certain speed. I think over 60. I think it just appears, and then it gets higher again as I go even faster, and then I brake and it goes all the way up, and the lights flash in a really annoying way. But you could probably also hear the sound of the engine, because the V10 sounds amazing. Oh, and I have definitely not just completely written it off because it doesn't have that much grip. It always feels like it's a little bit low on grip, like it should have a bit more. Maybe it just doesn't come with very good tyres. But in case it wasn't fast enough for you, we can go and put it into sport mode, which activates the launch control. So then we can do random burnouts because it likes doing burnouts. We can rev it up to the launch and it doesn't do very fast launch. But in case sport mode wasn't sporty enough for you, you can put it in Corsa mode, which just seems a bit unnecessary. Is it going to do the launch control thing? Yes, launch control 5,000 RPM for this, and it still gets a rather terrible launch, I'm going to be honest. Now this just means we have even less traction assists, and although this is a base spec version of the car, the 600 horsepower is still plenty to have a massive accident. The fact that I just drove over a giant crest probably doesn't help. But it is just so powerful. It just does not need this much power. But, well, it's a Bond supercar, so it has far more than it needs, of course. It is also not that easy to drive sometimes, due to its slightly weird lack of grip. But this car also has the amazing drift mode. No, the drift mode is very good. For some reason, I have immediately proven it wrong. The drift mode just is really good though, and I don't know what it is about it, but it's better than a lot of things. The fact that my game is running about 20 FPS makes it really hard to actually drift. Trust me, the game normally performs better than this, and that normally means that it drifts properly, and all of the cool stuff that it can actually do. And that's a rock. How did I not crash into the rock? I don't know. But anyway, it has a really good drift mode. There is, of course, more than one config for the car. So I was driving the GT, which is this one. There's also the Spider versions of the car, of basically all of them. All the actual sold ones. There's a GTS, which is just a slightly more sporty version of it. And then there's the GTX, which is the all-wheel drive sport model, and then there's the GTS Course, which is the track-focused, really fast one. And for some reason you can get that with a removable roof, because why wouldn't you want that? You've also got this off-road spec, which is surprisingly good. There's the custom version. There's also this one, which is the very fast one. Except it's not actually all that fast. The car can easily be made to go faster. But there's also this Dark Owl movie car, which is hot off the set of Dark Owl 2 Striking Talent, which is just like Beam is now having a fictional film series, which is kind of funny. But it's an awful thing to drive. It looks cool, but it's so bad. As it says here, built for form over function. It has no function. It's so awful. There's a asphalt rally version for some reason, a drag version which is actually ridiculous, and the race version which is just mad. It's so fast. To show you what this thing can do, I have brought out my own config. This is my top speed config, which is better than the game's top speed config, and as you can see it has the biggest of wings just slapped on the back of it. It looks so good, and it's so stupid because the wing is like wider than the car, and it is got such massive fins on it. It's just amazing. It also has this really cool two-tone paint job, because that's one of the options. It's kind of nice. But you can actually whack a massive turbo on the engine and get it up to, what have I got it up here? It's 1,739 horsepower. This config is stupid. And it has this one. It's also very loud because it has all the performance exhaust stuff. If I put it into into manual, we can go basically 70 miles an hour. We can go 68 technically in first gear. We put it into second, and we don't have a straight long enough to find out what it can do. 95 in second, yes, it has 7 gears. This is not technically the fastest you can make this car go, because you can just turn it into a brain car basically, but this is getting there. It also has the special drive mode that is only available if you go in, put it in the parts selector, or you get the base game's fast config, which I'm not even quite sure what it does, but it's just this special drive mode that I don't know, I guess makes it go fast. So I'm going to go to the actually long road on this map so that I can actually show you how fast this thing can go. It doesn't handle very well at low speed though. Did it just do 100 mile an hour burnout? Of course it did. It's got 1700 horsepower. Okay, so if I go up here with the indicators, yes, very important. Oh, it's doing burnouts at 150 miles an hour. I wasn't expecting it to be quite that fast. I forgot how stupid this thing is. What are you doing, game? The game. Why is it? What's going? Game? It. Why is the car going backwards? Fine. Is it gonna work now? Thank you. Oh, I nearly lost control of it again. This thing does not like bumpy roads. Oh, 200 miles an hour, and we're having a big crash. I found a tree. Okay, we need a different map for this thing. So I've brought it to the drag strip first, just so I can show you how stupidly fast this thing goes in a straight line. So we don't have an opponent, and it's not being timed or anything, because I can't be able to set it up. And we are now going 170, 180, 200 miles an hour by the end of the drag strip. And we're continuing up to 250, 260. Okay, I thought I could make it round that. I apparently can't. And I have broken half of my tyres. How was that such a violent accident? Okay, I guess we just drive off the edge of the map. I also don't know why, but for some reason, if you just watch the exhausts, they just randomly pop all the time when you're over like 7,000 RPM. They just go, yes, you want the noises? Yes, we can do the noises. I mean, it sounds cool, but it seems a bit weird. So if I just point off the edge of the map, we can just do some launch here, yes. The camera field of view is just going and just getting wider and wider. The map is just disappearing off behind us. Oh yeah, this thing gets to 300 miles an hour and then the engine starts burning up. But also the wing deforms because it's going so fast. Now you might think that the wing is hindering its top speed, and theoretically it is. The only problem is that if I didn't have the massive wing, it wouldn't have the grip to actually be able to make it to the speed, because it would just lose traction when it got so fast. So it needs the wing, even though it kind of theoretically should hinder its speed. But you can see that the wing is actually bending in the middle. This game is great sometimes, when it just simulates such tiny random things. But as you can see, there is now smoke coming from the engine, and the front and all the front brakes are fading. Okay. This thing is too fast for its own good. Like, I have the high performance radiator in it. So this car was added in the most recent update, which came out just over a week ago. And as well as adding this new car, they did some other changes. They made some more PBR stuff, and they added in a ton of new missions. So, missions are like scenarios, but not quite. If I press the magic map button, we can go over here, and there's actually not that many missions on this map. On some of them there's a ton more. There's various things. Actually, I'll go to this one. There's some AI races now. There's actually AIs that can race, but not very well. They've got these cannon missions. There's some crawling ones. There's some delivery stuff. Then there's these garage to garage ones where you just drive cars. There's hypermiling, knock away. There's a whole ton of missions that they've added. Some of them are here before, and some of them are new. And I thought about making a video to cover the update, but other people beat me to it, and well, there's not actually all that much to cover in this update. There's no new map, there's no car remaster, there's just a new car, which is kind of cool. That's why I'm making this video, but there's not much point in me talking about the other stuff because there's not actually all that much of it, unless you want to see me doing missions. If you want to see that, tell me and I can make videos of me doing missions. But yeah, this car's cool and I just want to drive the car and show you the cool car. That's going to be it for this video, so thank you for watching. Don't get distracted, go subscribe now, and until next time, goodbye.